I'm Chad Walquist. I'm an architect at Palantir. Today, I've got Breno, who leads our Palantir hospitality business. Thanks for joining me in Arkansas.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. Yeah,
Yeah,
first time in Arkansas, really enjoying it.
yeah. Well, I know you travel a lot. You're in hotels, so you're a perfect person to lead our hospitality business.
Yeah. I mean, we all at Palantir travel a lot. I mean, I live in hotels. That's how I explain what I do to my parents.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what is it that you do at Palantir? Like how long you been here? Maybe a little background.
yeah, I have been at Palantir for about 5 years. I started in Palantir as an intern, so I worked in product development actually in our Gotham
Yep.
product, which is our defense
Government.
and
Yeah.
intelligence product. In a product that's called Nexus Peering. If you know, kind of like it's
I'm
for
sure there'll
sharing
be a
data.
few people out there that know. Yep.
Yeah, for sharing data among Gotham instances. From there, when I came back, I started working as a Delta, which we call for deployed engineers, like our engineers on the front line on the business. I started working in Brazil for COVID response, and broader Latin America. From there, I evolved it into the Brazil business until I think like early last year when I started like hospitality. And hospitality can be like any services industry. If you think, I really like hotels and cruises and like things related to travel industry because I think like those is a very strong place of ours. But it could be, for example, entertainment industry as well is a pretty strong one, or restaurants. I think like it's translatable there as well.
Yeah. And I think they're very operational businesses,
Yeah,
right? And I think that's where we are really good is operational decision making. Stuff happens. How do I make the right decision in this moment? And I think that's where we bring all the data together to like help our customers do that.
yeah, exactly. And kind of like how I make your business adaptable or our business adaptable. Like we basically connect their systems and like make them able to react to changes and react to like unforeseen situations in a much more quicker way, in a much more digital way, which allows them to like basically like focus their brain power and their expertise on like kind of like how I best serve my customer, how I make them have the best experience, and like, or how I make my business more money, how I make my business save money, right? So like all of those, you save like time from your people to do those things as well.
Yeah. And I think the thing there of connecting the different pieces, moving from local optimization, each of those to that global, not only for a customer experience, but for revenue and saving money. I think that's like super powerful. And it's also super complex. And like we honor the complexity of people's businesses. There's human and systems and all of these things interacting. And so like really it's like, how do we meet people where they are? It's like, yeah, how do I help the person, the maintenance person understand the most pressing issue, whether or the customer service agent, how to best service this customer. And so it's really about enabling your people to do more, to be more customized. It's not about trying to replace them.
Exactly. And like when we say about making our business adaptable, like in the end of the day, hospitality businesses is like kind of like you're receiving people and like people create unforeseen situations. Like there are several examples.
Yep.
So like if you think about your business, you have like hundreds or like thousands of locations is like, and sometimes they are close by and sometimes they're in the same city. Let's say you made a reservation at one location and you show up at another location in the same city. Like that business has to like, okay, what do I do now? Do I receive this customer here? Do I send them back? How? Why? And like kind of like all of those decisions and like kind of like fast decision making and like kind of like ensuring your customer have the best experience possible and like kind of like you are serving what they need, and also like of course making the revenue you need, making the margins you need is also like part of what we can help those businesses with.
So it's really about empowering your people,
Exactly.
right, through technology. The one other way I think about this, what you're talking about, is like stuff happens. And normally a person has a limited context of what they're able to see in the moment to make a decision. So I've got local context to make a locally optimized decision. And I think this is where our software really helps is how do we empower that person to make a globally optimized decision in the moment, whether you're on the factory floor, you're in front of a customer at a desk, you're on a cruise, wherever that is. How do we help that person make the best decision in the global context? And it's more context that they have than they can have access to at any point in time in a human context window, essentially. And so I think that's where the ontology comes in, is contextualizing what's happening on the ground in the real world so that when something happens, that is how I make that decision. And I think that's like super powerful. Like you're talking about is chaos is going to happen. We can't plan for everything as much as we want to plan.
Yeah,
Things happen. Right.
exactly, especially like when you get humans in the way, like things will
Yeah.
happen. And the real power of the ontology, like when we talk about several different use cases, we talk
Yeah.
about procurement, we talk about supply chain, customer service, and so on. If you think about the ontology, is like one ontology for all of those use cases. So you can actually see your business from end to end with it. So when you think about, for example, procurement, let's say you need to buy that specific food, that specific beverage, that specific item for your business because like your customer will want that. And then you have like the customer service. This is all the same thing. And you want kind of like when that customer shows up to your venue or to your hotel or to your place, you have that item for him on the shelf ready. And that matters like end to end. One example is like when you think about we have a customer that's a luxury hotel. I mean, you participated
Yeah.
on that
Yeah.
boot camp,
Yep.
so you know.
I know those guys well. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And if you think about them, for example, it's in the night resorts and like um, they have like very high end service,
Yeah.
right? If a customer goes in and they always order the same champagne, right? And you want that champagne on the shelf for that customer, you need to be able to connect all of those sides of the business.
Yeah. And I think that's what people like when you think about the business use cases. It's when you talk about connected company, it kind of sounds like just a marketing term, but truly is connected operations all the way from the demand signal of I've got a customer coming to all the way through your business operations back to procurement and then forward to I got that, now I have to have it in the right place because this customer's coming. So it's that back and forth operational flow, and that's something I think we're like it's hard for people to understand is like it's a data analytics tool. Yes, we do data analytics tool, but that should really be the byproduct. What you're talking about is operational workflows in the context of hospitality is this connected decision making across your business to facilitate these use cases. Like you said, they're all the same. Procurement is in service of the customer. The customer service engine helps people service the customer better. And all these things then are connected by that fabric of ontology, right?
You always need to work under the premise that the person at the front line of your business kind of like has some knowledge, and you want to be able to capture that on a
Yeah.
digital way, to basically like use that edge for your business.
So what are you most excited about when it comes to AI and hospitality?
Yeah, I think like what I'm most excited about, it's an industry in my view that like has been needy of tech for a very long time. You have all those underlying systems, and like a PMS is a great example, and like you have a lot of data, structure and unstructured. I think like the unstructured has been not utilized a lot. The classic example that everyone can relate to is like a review. Everyone already submitted a review to a hotel in the past, and like that thing is like very rich on the data. Some people put on like what happened to their room, who served them well, who didn't, and like you can actually like plug that data, pull that data, and like utilize it to enhance your business, make your business perform better. And that has been really unlocked in the past few years with AI. So that really excites me, and like it can like skip the journey for a lot of those hospitality companies that have been like with these systems for a very long time, instead of like migrating from one of the other, jumping in right into like impact and results.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a similar thing I see in whether it's manufacturing. It's I have a bunch of point SaaS solutions. I try to make them work together. Human is the glue between them, whether it's emails, phone calls. I have multiple screens. I'm switching between Excel, whatever it is. Back to that same concept of moving from locally optimized in each one of those point solutions to globally optimized to know that in my
Exactly.
CRM, it's connected to this PMS and how those things connect. It's really about scale.
Yep.
It's like, how do I help my people scale? Instead of being data gophers trying to do these things, it's like, how do I help encode these?
One the way to simplify the ontology wording as well that I like is like the vocabulary of your business, the words. So when you think about the hotel example, is like, is your guest, is your property, is your staff, right? All of those things are like words of your business. Then when you think about it, so like when you think about ontology in hospitality, is really about all of those. So it's the things that like your customers see, but sometimes the things that your customers don't see as well. So it's not only like the customer facing part, but also like the internal operations part. And we basically like model that by connecting all of their systems. So we connect like the PMS, reputation management, CRM, procurement system, invoicing, the traditional ERP, like whatnot, you name it. Like we connect all of that into the system, and it basically like create this translation of what is the vocabulary of your business. So what the person on the front desk or the person on your property or your venue talks about, thinks about, and then we codify that into Palantir, right?
But I think it's different. I just want to call this out. It's different than like a data warehouse. Like people think, oh, I have a data lake. I bring all the data together and I have a data warehouse. Like that's very much a report, a KPI. what we're talking about is operational.
Yeah.
It's decision centric system, like taking actions, right?
Exactly. Kind of like when we model that ontology, that's kind of like, as is the vocabulary of your business, it's like you can put AI, and you can put AI to kind of like understand your business. And ultimately, you can make AI take decisions for you. So, like,
Yep.
for example, one example that I love is like we have an AI that like reads your reviews. It reads kind of like who stayed in your hotel and who not. And kind of like it says like, okay, this review cited that this room has a problem in the shower head. And like kind of like it automatically like creates an action and like sends this to the maintenance person. So the next time a maintenance person goes to your room, or like the cleaning person goes to your room to clean your room, they will tell them to kind of like take a look at the shower head and
Yep.
see if you can fix it. Because like the customer cited that problem, and like the 3 previous customers also cited that problem.
Yep.
So it's kind of like, and the AI can only take that decision because your data is in that format and that
Yep.
vocabulary, right? That like semantic human way
Yep.
of putting things.
It's the nouns and verbs of how you operate, and
Exactly.
but we've been doing this in other industries, whether it's in airlines or on factory
Exactly.
floors. Preventative maintenance is key to keep a line up or an airplane flying.
Yeah.
A similar kind of concept can be applied to keeping hotel rooms open and being able to be serviced for customers, right?
Yeah, keeping them open, and like also like reducing the cost of like the maintenance, right? Like
Yep.
if you can tackle 3 maintenance problems in one go, is like it's better than one by one, for
Yes.
example, and things like that.
Yeah, being very strategic or waiting for something to break so bad you got to replace everything, right?
Yeah.
So those are the kind of things that we look for.
Exactly. Yeah, and like, yeah, the ontology piece is like super powerful, and it allows us to kind of like also build the agentic action workflows. And those can be like things that affect also your customer. We are talking a lot about things that like are on the back of the hotel. So like we are thinking about the procurement or the maintenance or the revenue management, right? So things that the customer don't see. I mean, the customer see the price, but like you get the idea. But we can put the AI to take decisions in front of the customer as well if you want, right? So we can put the AI to kind of like, for example, pick up a phone call if you wish, or like kind of like answer a customer ticket. Like maybe the customer complained that like about something on their loyalty program, right?
Yep.
And like you can go in and put the AI to fix that problem for him.
Yeah, and I've even seen where now you can text and the agent can understand what you're needing and actually create a work order or have something delivered for the room just via text and understanding, so that like that automatic workflow then allows the human to still have the human touch of delivering or doing something, but they're not having to pick up the phone call and decipher what to go do. And so I think that's that great example of the AIs doing the ordinary and the humans are doing the extraordinary.
The chat is really like step 0 of the thing.
Yep.
Like what you want is like your AI taking business decisions for you and like supporting your business is like not the support role, but like the active role, kind of like driving your business forward.
Yep.
And that's what we really are about.
Yeah, very cool. Well, thanks for joining me here in Arkansas today. I learned a lot about what we're doing in hospitality. I love that it really is just a different flavor of different pieces that we're doing in other business. So thanks for joining me.
Yeah, I mean, thank you for having me in Arkansas. Yeah, hospitality is like a great business for Palantir. I bet like every also Palantir engineer is a super user of like hotels and loyalty.
Yeah.
So like
Forward deployed to hotels.
Forward deployed. I lived for months
Yeah.
in hotels for while being deployed at Palantir, and like transforming those businesses nowadays is I would say super rewarding for me.
Yeah, I love that, like, as engineers at Palantir, like, we see all the different customer workflows in our daily lives, and I think it's pretty cool that you're, like, staying at hotels, that you're helping optimize the user experience. That's a pretty cool feedback loop.
Yeah, it's a cool feedback loop, and I always, like, learn things, so sometimes I arrive to a hotel and, like, "Oh, what system are you using? Like, does it work well? Does it not? What do you wish it had?" And, like, interacting with people, I always learn, so I also love that.
That's awesome. That's key to being forward deployed, is always learning.